Good evening, or good late night, my fellow dear viewer. How are you? I happen to have a movie for a midnight matinee, a true gothic one that will strike you, and you're just like, yes, I can definitely enjoy this. The Whip and the Body from Mario Bava, 1963. In the 19th century, a sadistic nobleman terrorizes the members of his own family. He is found dead, but his ghost soon returns to haunt the residents of his former castle. Miracle Pictures presents The Whip in the Body, starring Christopher Lee and Dahlia Lavi, Tony Kendall, produced by Elio Scartamaglia and directed by Mario Bava. Horror, 1983 minutes. This movie is drenched in beautiful atmosphere of shadows, of color, of great facial performances. Let me explain. Christopher Lee is in this movie and he likes to use a whip. For whatever reason, a whip is his personal favorite. So I guess this is technically a sadomasochistic horror. That's something you don't hear about. I mean, well, it's technically a riding crop. Let's not get into uh, specificities. Overall, this movie is very beautiful. I mean, yes, it does take place with a whole bunch of rich people, and that's fine. It works here, and it works well. This is Christopher Lee in one of his more earlier roles, I would say, like right before he became involved with Hammer Horror. Yeah, I played Dracula with Peter Cushing, so this is interesting. You could see right here that this is him. You could see eventually where the beard would grow. This is well long before he became fans of Rhapsody of Fire. But just to think that, but we're not here. But he's part of it, but also the amazing Dahlia Levy is. She really is stunning in this with the hair, those mesmerizing eyes, the cheekbones. Is like, okay, let's have her give most of the performance. Let's have her feel tormented. I mean, she just be able to just flip from just being, a little sad to being absolutely tormented by the fact that the person that she kind of had a relationship with, that when she gets whipped, it kind of turns her on, and it's just very interesting. It's like this woman. It's like, yeah, when you get kinky in the adult world, that's fine. I don't care about that. But here, it almost seems like she could never really move on. So what Bava does is create a whole bunch of usage of shadows. Shadows to represent the house has an uneery feeling about it. Shadows to show the grief and despair that our actress has. Shadows to just show the tension in between the family, because one of the central themes here is family decay. That they see obviously that their sister is starting to go a little to descend, but then they start having their own experiences of maybe Kurt has returned from the dead and is starting to stalk them. What is going on? Who the heck knows? It's interesting to see what is happening. It's like, this is a slow-paced movie, but it's slow that it's right. It keeps you along at just the right speed, where things are just going well, and then, eventually it's. I mean, we do get a couple of billings, including spoilers for a 62-year-old movie you've probably never heard of. Yeah, the billings for the father when he gets eliminated via this knife that is used, like a kind of like a sigh that members of the TMNT had. That's what it more resembles. It's like this knife was used to bill people. It's like this was used for the daughter, and now it's going around, and we're having a whole bunch of assassinations happen in our own family. So you can tell, obviously, this is the themes of family. There's this sadomasochism going on. How one can, like maybe the 5 stages of death that may or may not exist in this, but it's like, yeah, this is Bava, who knows how to intricately work and weave his magic all around, Particularly, I would say about, like, when they're on the beach. It's one of the few, I guess, kind of bright spots, but even though there's a whipping that's happening, it's like, I don't know, it's just very interesting. But, it's like this movie, it's pretty dang good. I mean, a ravishingly beautiful horror movie. And it's like, yeah, it is definitely that. And I just think that it feels whole and complete, like you got your money's worth out of watching something. This 86-minute film. Another particular one is when about an hour, 5 minutes in, is when the family's, you can tell the family is starting to descend into chaos, wondering really what's happening. Is like, is has he really returned to life? Is he almost like being Sauron like 40 years before? Well, ultimately the answer is no. Turns out that because whether she was possessed by something or she just, the shock of it, she actually goes around assassinating the rest of her family with the dagger, and it just turns out works so well. And just like, yeah, like I said, this movie, it's not like it's fast paced or anything, but there's enough to keep it going, especially when there's this one tracking shot. Yeah, it's one tracking shot about an hour and 5 minutes in where it kind of goes slow and it wraps around as in to capture the discordant chaos that's going on, which I like a lot. But of course, in order to make this film more viable for Italians, the actors were told, hey, select some English names, and that way you can have more marquee value in Italy and make it seem like it was an AIP release or a Hammer horror production. And Bava took the joke literally by saying, hey, get an old-fashioned sounding American name. So he select John P. Old or something like that. So literally he took the joke to the extreme. And Christopher Lee returned home to Switzerland after filming this. I think they pronounced their lines phonetically in Italian, and then a couple of people who could speak English would eventually dub them, but instead they got some other person to dub Christopher Lee, which you could obviously tell that's not him. He does not sound as commanding as in The Wicker Man, or in any of the Lord of the Rings movies, or even Count Dooku. So we get some other person doing that. It's just like, you can tell that. And he says, yeah, I really should. He says he stated, yeah, I really should have just dubbed my own lines, and I regret this because this was the best European performance in my filmography. So yeah, it's just that. And in case you're wondering, like, look at the cheapness of this. It's like, I mean, yeah, this looks fine, but this is like early 2000s, having this layer. And then you go on the back here, smallest description possible. This is a cheapo DVD from 2000 or whatever. 2005 from Miracle Pictures, a division of PMC Corp in Delaware. This was, unfortunately, they letterboxed the movie to hell. So it's like you got the black bars on the top and the bottom, but then also on the left and right, so you have maybe like a fifth of what it would be on the Kino Lorber Blu-ray release that I'm not even going to try. Not even going to get at this point. I'm just like, I'm just going to just watch it on this. And Movie Ventures, just your release sucks for this. I'm happy that you have it on DVD. Don't watch it. Instead, just watch the Blu-ray release or wherever it's streaming on YouTube or whatever. But if you want a great gothic thriller that's more reminiscent of like what Roger Corman was doing in Vincent Price, then I recommend that you watch The Whip in the Body Blu-ray release, not this lousy Movie Ventures release.